What's up, YouTube? Welcome to 2023 and Happy New Year. Now, for this video, I wanted to do something that everybody does at the beginning of the year, or most people, and that is some New Year's resolutions or goals that we want to complete by the end of the year. I want to share some goals that, as a developer, I think that you should have or start adding to your list, or give you some ideas that could potentially make you put on your list. This is for whether you're in school or you're got years of experience in your field. You can always get better, and as long as you got the motivation and dedication to do that. Also, these goals are something that are going to last throughout the year. They shouldn't be 1 to 2 week goals or 1 to 2 month goals. They should be something that one can either play on top of each other, or they just take multiple months to achieve. And I feel like that's a good starting point with these. I do want to emphasize as well as that a goal without a plan is just a dream, and you know what they say.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. So just do it!
All right, and also make sure that I'll give my learning path and my plan on how I plan on achieving my goals, and maybe can give you some ideas on how to get yours. So let's get started. All right, so let's get into the first goal of 2023 for me, and that's achieving not 1 but 2 AWS certificates or certifications, and AWS being Amazon Web Service. The cloud's really big. It's one of the tools that you're probably going to run into eventually if you're not already using it. Especially if you're a new grad, you may not run into it, but this is something that's going to give you a leg up of other new grads that might be applying for your same position. In the development world, they say certifications don't really hold any weight. While that is true, there are some that I have mixed feelings about, and I feel like they do. It's just like a degree. Someone that was self-taught applying to the same position as someone with a degree is more than likely not going to get the role, because they don't have something that shows that they dedicated a certain amount of time to get better at something or to pursue something that they're interested in. And that's I think it's the main starting point with the degree, is that it holds some sort of weight that they were dedicated and motivated to do something. As without a degree, you can make projects and stuff, but it doesn't tell really how long you spend on those. How much time you invested in them. If anything, for all they know, you just watched a YouTube video and copied it. And that's one of the reasons I feel like certification can really give you a leg up. As for me, the first cert I want to really go through or go for is the AWS Cloud Practitioner. It's a foundational certification, but for anyone or anything that you do, you've got to start with the building blocks of something, especially since the Cloud Practitioner sets you up for all these other routes that you can go through. And I just feel like having the foundational knowledge is important. I do have the AZ900, which is the foundational certification for Azure, and it really does explain where the tools are and understanding what the tools are used for. And this is exactly what this one is for. It basically tells you all the tools that AWS has and that you can utilize. It doesn't really tell you how to utilize them yet, but it's a good foundational knowledge that I feel like that you need. And then the second one I'm choosing is the solutions architect at the associate level, of course. And the reasoning for this is because eventually, as a developer, whether you're newer or older, you're going to run into some sort of cloud-based application or some cloud-based solutions that you might run into. And knowing how to really map that out in the cloud and efficiently use it not only saves you time, but also saves the company money, as opposed to someone that knows what they're doing, but they may not know how to efficiently do it. And that's a big reasoning for me in getting these certifications, because although I can go in AWS, play around with it all day, but I'm not efficiently using my time. Eventually I might get it, but the more time I dedicate to mastering it, I'm gonna get it right. And with my path of learning on this, like I said, I'm gonna include this out so that way I can give you maybe some inspiration that you need to map yours out. First of all, I'm gonna use my company's educational budget or benefits that they provide to us, and hopefully you're utilizing yours too. It's free money. It's not only their way of investing in you, but to show that they're getting better developers on their, they can present you basically. They can show you off like, hey, we got these developers with these certifications. And the more that they have, the more projects they're going to get, and more likely they're going to want to keep you on the same or on the team, or maybe give you more money eventually because you've went above and beyond throughout the year. And another one is I'm using this thing called AWS Skill Builder. It is like you got to be partnered with it or have a company that's partnered with it to have access to it. And luckily, my company is partnered. And I'm making those baby steps. A module here. Every day I try to lately. I've been trying to, been planning this out for the past 2 weeks, and really trying to get a head start and stay motivated to do it. But another thing, if you don't, you just go into YouTube right here, type in AWS Cloud Practitioner, and boom, there's just all these results that you can look for. There's plenty of people out there that have taken it, know what they're talking about, and give everyone some stepping stones or some knowledge on what they need to start looking for. As for me, I can't really do that yet. I haven't achieved it, but if when I do, I'll be sure to drop some tips and hints on it. I'm not really going to try to make a 30-minute to an hour long video explaining everything, but I'll be sure to cover the topics and subtopics within those that you're going to need, because it's usually pretty in depth. It's a certification. You need to know what you're doing, but I'll be sure to have that for y'all. But yeah, I think that's it for goal one. Let's get into the next one. All right, so let's get into my second goal. And to give a backstory, on the past 2 semesters I had done started my master's in AI. And while doing it, it was kind of hard for me to do both work and school and enjoy life, hanging out with friends, stuff like that. I didn't really have that time, and that's kind of why I'm taking a break right now. At least give me a 1 semester to recoup and get back some of the energy and motivation that I need to stay with it. But what I did learn is that I really enjoy a certain niche of AI, and that is computer vision. I'd learned the basic or the math that I needed behind it. A lot of linear regression, really. But I found my niche that I want to stay in and pursue. And I feel like others should do the same. Sure, a master's degree is going to get you into that field faster. Especially the way or how much it's advancing right now. I'm probably going to need that degree to transition to something, unless something pops up at work and there's a project that I can get on to get some experience under my belt. But yeah, that's what I want to focus on. And I do have some really cool content ideas for you guys, but I really do got to pursue this avenue and really learn what I need to know in this area. So my learning path for it, I don't have really too in depth for it, but I will say, here is a book that I am or have been looking at reading. I've looked at the reviews. It seems really good. I believe there's an OpenCV5 computer vision with Python 3 coming out very soon. It's just that I'd actually purchased this back in like June or July and had started it before my degree, just to get see what I really enjoy. And this is what ultimately led to me hopping into that degree. But yeah, I feel like I'm not an avid reader, but I wanted to get at least one book under my belt. Reading's not something, or something I used to enjoy, but I don't get into it very much anymore. And this is just a book that I found that be very interesting. But yeah, I plan on making smaller projects, sharing them with you. Maybe not going technically in depth, but more of like the idea or the concepts that the project covers, and showing it off. Just to give you, making sure that I'm holding myself accountable and giving you guys some ideas on some projects that you can do. But yeah, that's my goal for learning, or my learning path, and my goal for learning object detection, and hopefully that gives you good ideas. All right, let's get into my final goal, and that is to create content for you guys. I want to, I enjoy creating content, but as you seen last year, I didn't really enjoy, I guess, the apps or what I was creating for you guys. I don't think I want to dive into the technical specifications on a lot of things. If I had some great feedback for that, maybe that would be a separate channel, or something separate that I would do. But I just want to create some cool content around my projects. I have some really good ideas, but that's just what I want to do. I also want to mix in some tech, and sharing what I come across, as well as giving some tips to other developers. There's I have some other ideas on how to help you guys, and being able to put out content for that. I feel like it's gonna be a great idea as well. And then as well as sharing some of the development news, maybe sharing some of the projects that I have and the content around it. But yeah, to add to this, I would like to also have a goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm trying to it's gonna be more of quality over quantity this year. I'm gonna really dive in and focus on what I really want to push to you guys. And as I said, it's learning. I got a lot of learning to do this year, especially in some of the stuff I want to do is like the object detection stuff. So videos might be slow at first, but they're going to eventually ramp up. The more I learn, the more I'm able to put out on YouTube. But yeah, I feel like that's a great starting point. You can't really have a learning path for this. That's why I have the other two goals to make sure that I can complete goal 3. And I feel like having these goals set up like this just motivates you and keeps you in the loop on what you need to do next to complete your goals. And hopefully I've inspired some of you guys to do the same. And then one final point I want to emphasize is accountability. That's probably the hardest thing to do, is keeping or holding yourself accountable. There are some things you can do to do this, and that's having some sort of support system. Me and my friend, we've been planning our goals out the past 2-3 weeks and making sure we're on top of each other, make sure we have everything ready to go, so that way as soon as the first hit, boom, we're off and in the races. And that's kind of why I'm creating this video, to stay on top. He's staying on top of me. We're probably reaching out multiple times a day, and we both got full-time jobs, so we're both in the same situation, trying to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to make sure we achieve what we want to get done. Hopefully you guys can find some sort of support system, like a friend or a buddy, or even family, or even if you have to reach out in a community to find someone to hold yourself accountable. And hopefully these videos can be your accountability as well. So like, hey, he's pushing out content or he's learning something, why not I? And another thing is making sure you're getting a little bit done every day. Don't do something one day, wait 2 to 3 days and get back onto it. That's just not going to work. It's like more than likely after you've learned something one day, you take 2 to 3 days off, you go back to learn something new. You're more than likely you've brain dumped what you just learned because you didn't have any reinforcement in what you learned. So if you can do 20, even if it's just 20-30 minutes a day, every day, that's that 1% better that you need to get every day, and you'll be 365% or 366% better at the end of the year, as opposed to 2% better day 1, 2 to 3 days off, back to square one. Now you're gonna have to relearn that 2% and then some more if you want to stay on track. So yeah, so making sure you're getting that little bit more that you need done every day, and hopefully that these goals of mine will help you with that. And now the final thing, these are my resolutions. You don't have to copy them. Make some that you're interested in, and then hopefully I just wanted to give you some ideas on something that you can set up for yourself. Mine, like I said, long-term goals. Don't make something that you can complete 1 to 2 weeks. Maybe it's just one goal. If it's one goal that's going to start another goal, then sure, 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, the first AWS certification I need probably won't take me but 2 or 3 weeks of just actually hard studying it and make sure I get it done. But it builds onto the next certification that I want to get. And AWS is big for since it's one of the main market shares. I can probably use computer vision with the cloud. So that's another thing. Everything just plays on top of each other. Think it out. Like I said, we've been planning this out for 2 to 3 weeks, making sure I know what I want to achieve this year. But yeah, if you have any content ideas, if there's something you think I can do better, please feel free to drop them in the comments. If you like the video, like, subscribe. There's going to be more videos to come. And if that's it, I hope I see you in the next one. Have a good one.